Now, it's been more than 6 months now since Kenya's Parliamentary Defense Committee launched an inquiry into alleged atrocities committed by the British Soldiers Training Unit in Kenya. Batuk has faced accusations from host communities related to cases of murder, then fatal traffic through hit and runs, sexual violence and exploitation leading to unwanted pregnancies, labor rights violations from Kenyan employees at the Batuk barracks and environmental pollution. In its response, the British High Commission says that the UK government is working closely with the government of Kenya to accelerate the progress of investigations. Our senior reporter Seth Olale spent months documenting case studies involving victims of the alleged atrocities in Samburu and Laikipia counties, and now brings us part 2 of the documentary, Batuk and Daughters.
"22-year-old Chaula Memusi is being attended to by her 45-year-old mother, Memusi Lochede, at their village in Westlands area, Archers Post, Samburu County.
Wakati alipata accident, tukapeleka Keirwa hospital. Biriti wakakuja wakalipa hospitali, na alikaa 3 years sosi. Wakalipa, wakasema wataki kesi. Wanasema watashughulikia maisha yake, lakini baada ya kuleta nyumbani walienda wajarudi tena kushughulika mpaka sasa hivi. Inafaa British wachukuliwe hatua, walipie hawa wenye wamedhulumu hawa na walipie haki yao.
According to a medical examination report from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations from the officer commanding police station Archers Post, Samburu County, under OB number 1323-1-2019, dated 23rd January 2019, Shaula Lechode, then 17 years old, was run over by a vehicle while crossing the road, resulting into severe injuries on her head and neck, abdomen, lower and upper limbs.
Kwa sababu maisha yanapitia, mpaka mimi nilikuja nikakuwa na ulcers. Nilipata stress mpaka hata sikumbuki kukula, nikapata ulcers hadi nimelala hospitali kwa sababu ya stress ya mtoto. Na wengine wanakosa saa hii masomo vizuri kwa sababu ya kutokuwa na nafasi ya kwenda kutafutia.
21-year-old Sabili Lemakima, Shaula's younger brother, was schooling with her sister at Gedre Primary School before the incident occurred.
Jusa kama nini mtoto kama huyu. Sasa hii maisha yake imeharibika hivyo. Jusa sana mguu moja. So ni kama hii nini yake ya life ataishi kwa hivyo maisha yake yote hivyo. So nataka tu amsaidie at least aishi maisha poa.
Memusi and her daughter Chauda were among victims who narrated emotional testimonies during a landmark public inquiry into allegations of human rights violation by the British Army Training Unit Kenya, Batuk, in May 2024. The inquiry is being conducted by the National Assembly Defense and Foreign Relations Committee.
Hamjaponi tena. Asante sana. Imepakana na Isiolo. Hii ni vile program ilibadilishwa.
In Kenya, in the conduct of Batuk in Kenya.
Na hapa nataka kuambia kwamba watulie, kwa sababu sisi wenyewe tutaiwakilisha kwa bunge, and hii committee ni one of the serious committees, na tutafanya kazi yetu, tutahakikisha kwamba haki imeweza kufanyika kwa wakaaji wa eneo hili.
Wana Mayana na wageni pia wale wako.
Claims of human rights violations by British troops in Samburu and Laikipia counties not only involves rape, murder and hit-and-run incidences, but also cases of abandonment of children sad by British soldiers. "18-year-old Mariam Juma is one such case.
My mother passed when we had no house to live, because the house that we used to live was a Manyata house. It's too hard here in home because we don't have place to stay. My brothers have not got good education because they have not furthered their education because they lack of school fees. Nimeshangaa sana kusikia mzazi anatoroka mtoto wake. Sasa anashangaa, babangu mimi sijamkosea, mamangu hata labda hajamkosea. Sasa sababu ningependa kujua sababu yake kututoroka, sababu ya kutokutusaidia, na kuna mtu alimkosea. Na sijaisikia mzazi anatoroka mtoto wake cause mtoto ni innocent, hakuna kitu amemfanyia. At the first point pia hajaniona. Ninashangaa mbona alituacha, alitutoroka. I don't know, that is what I'm just ina ring kwa akili yangu. Nashangaa mbona out of the blue aliamua kututoroka.
Marian and his elder brother Lomanat hope to build themselves a house one day on this land their late mother left them, amid fears that the local administration intends to forcefully acquire the property.
Hii shamba imekaa hivyo bila hakuna nyumba yote. Sasa hizi ni miaka 18 bila huwa tunakomboa tu nyumba kila mahali.
Just like Lechode and Chowda, Mariam Juma gave evidence to the parliamentary inquiry into the alleged misconduct of soldiers from the British Army Training Unit Kenya, Batuk, in May 2024.
Nangamia hapa utalaumu nani?
Mimi. Guy.
28-year-old Jenerica Namoru has been struggling to make ends meet for her 5-year-old daughter, Nicole. Also abandoned by a British soldier stationed at the training station at Archer's Post.
Paka kuna penye imefika anasemanga, mama sasa mimi sitakuitwa mzungu. I don't know how she takes it, lakini sielewi mbona alifika hapo. Sijui kama ni vile anachokozwa sometimes. Kwa siasa. Anauliza kwani baba hakuji? Huwa sasa namwambianga baba ako mbali, na penye ako mbali lazima tupande ndege. Na ndege ni kama 100,000 na. So nikimpea that statement sema kwa hivyo lakini atakuja, nampea yeye, namwambia tu atakuja. So lile kumwambia ako mbali sana. But atakuja.
Just like Marianne, Generica and a 5-year-old daughter, Nicole, submitted testimony to the Nelson Koech Defense Parliamentary Committee during its public inquiry into the atrocities committed by British soldiers.
The Royal Military Police at around 2002 conducted investigations onto these allegations of rape, which in their conclusion they did conclude that there were some incidences of this abuse. And I've seen several recommendations, like in the TJRC report, which also note that there were abuses and sexual violence perpetrated against the Samburu and Maasai women by the British forces while training in Doldo. But all these reports have been left to, rot in shelves. I mean, there has been no meaningful implementation of the recommendations in this report.
Entities that have so far appeared before the National Assembly Defense Committee include Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, Ministry of Interior, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, National Environment Management Authority, Kenya Wildlife Service, and some non-governmental organizations. Those also scheduled to present testimonials include Federation of Women Lawyers, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Lands, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Labor, National Intelligence Service, and Batuk. According to EACC's report on 7th March 2013, the Commission received allegations of malpractices involving officers of the British Army Training Unit Kenya, Batuk.
One, stand by, firing!
In collusion with public officers in Nanyuki. The specific allegations are Batuk Quartermaster, the Regiment Sergeant Major RMS, and the commanding officer allegedly received bribes to allow traders dealing in couriers to conduct their businesses within the Army's camp's restricted areas, which is reportedly illegal. The officers reportedly demand 500,000 Kenyan shillings per trader and later take 30% of total sales from the traders. It is also alleged that some of the shops sell mobile phones and accessories which are brought into the country illegally without paying import duty. The shops and businesses in the restricted areas reportedly operate without permits, business licenses, and other revenues to the council, and allegedly avoid paying taxes. The officers reportedly buy personal cars and register with British Army number plates or make their own fake British Army plates and attach to the vehicles. When they leave the country, they sell the vehicles to Kenyans. The regiment sergeant major, who has been at the station for 4 years, is reported to be involved in the illegal trade of smuggled AFCO cigarettes out of the country using Batuk's security containers. These containers are reportedly never inspected by customs officers.
So your number?
According to submission by the Kenya Veterans for Peace to the Parliamentary Defense Committee, British soldiers patronize entertainment joints, fights in Nanyuki, and have at times been reported to have had a confrontation with other revelers, which at times results in fights. There have been some reported cases of injuries to women within or outside the British camp. Sexual actions have at times resulted in unwanted pregnancies and abandoned mixed-race children. Most soldiers are accused of violating the code of conduct through indiscipline. Some serious in nature are never investigated by the relevant local authorities nor British Army leadership. Neither is there a follow-up to ensure justice has been done to the victims. According to the Kenya Human Rights Commission, submission to the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations, Batuk has faced accusations from host communities related to cases of murder, public fights, and fatal traffic hit and runs. Some of the sample cases include Agnes Wanjiru's murder, by a British soldier in March 2012. Fatal accident caused by a British Army bus at the Meru-Nanyuki junction, resulting in the death of the driver and severe injuries to the other passengers on February 10, 2012. A hit and run where a Batuk lorry ran over a young girl in 2019 in Archer's Post, causing disability to the victim. Batuk operating beyond leased lands such as Losesia Group Ranch in Archer's Post, Samburu County. Fire at the 10,000 acres Loldaiga Wildlife Conservancy caused by Batuk from the use of white phosphorus. Threats and intimidation against human rights defenders by Kenya security agencies leading to arbitrary arrests. Labor rights violation from Kenyan employees at the Batuk barracks. Sexual violence and exploitation. The Kenya Human Rights Commission is demanding reparations for all the atrocities committed to the different groups in the country, in line with the United Nations principles and guidelines, which provide for, amongst others, support, adequate compensation, rehabilitation, satisfaction, and guarantee of non-repetition.
For us, it's a racial issue. We find the way they've been doing things against our people and undermining our sovereignty, undermining our government and other institutions is purely racism. Because you cannot tell me someone lodges a complaint in Cyprus to British Army, he is compensated within 1 week. Here you lodge compensation even for 10 years, no one listens to you. So even the way MOD UK works, it works in a very discriminative way on the basis of the race, simply because we are black people. That's why we find a lot of injustice coming from Batuk.
According to a British High Commission spokesperson, the UK Secretary of State for Defence, John Haley, MP, has discussed with the Chief of the General Staff these alarming allegations of unacceptable behavior by the service personnel deployed to Kenya. We take these allegations extremely seriously, and the Army has launched an inquiry into the conduct of those who have been deployed to Kenya. We expect the highest standards from our personnel, are committed to preventing sexual exploitation in any form, and through our zero-tolerance policies, will hold to account anyone found to be involved. The Royal Military Police and Batuk work closely with the Kenyan Police liaison officers, local community and county leadership to swiftly address any concerns with the Defence Serious Crime Command, investigating any allegations of serious or complex crime where necessary. However, for the victims of alleged Batuk atrocities, justice remains an illusion, dwindling far from the horizon. But there is hope for the daughters of Samburu and Laikipia counties that the parliamentary committee undertaking an inquiry will bring to book the perpetrators who left permanent scars on them.
There seems to be a standoff right now in terms of the Defence Cooperation Agreement between Kenya and the UK, on the basis that, okay, so this is what happened. In the Defence Cooperation Agreement that came before my committee, mischievously, someone had omitted that people who commit murder in Kenya or in the host country to the visiting troops can only be tried in their country. And we said, no, that cannot happen. That is how runaway murder, particularly like this one of Agnes Wanjiru, happened. So we said, no, we will not accept that. What we want to do is to make sure that they are subject to the laws of the land, that is the host country, so that all the visiting troops in Kenya, if they commit acts of murder or manslaughter or any other criminal aspect during their term of training in Kenya, they are supposed to be subjected to our Kenyan laws.
For decades now, justice has been elusive for dozens of victims of alleged Batuk atrocities touching on human rights violations. The parliamentary inquiry that is being undertaken by the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations provides the only hope for victims. Seth Olale, Citizen TV, Achas Post, Samburu County.